they feel are a bit
standoffish,
closeted away and standoffish. Yeah, you're like Taylor Swift and I'm Selena Gomez.
Is that so?
That's probably very wrong.
I don't understand. Yeah.
There you go.
Trust you guys are well. The Hard Rock Cafe Origin Series kicked off last week with the North and South squads getting together for their first training session. The Under-14s North team have an outstanding coaching team, led by head coach Yoni Charlowski, an Australian who was involved with the South Sydney Rabbitohs youth setup. He's assisted by John Isaac, who's the Broncos Under-16 scholarship coach, and Max Savage, who is a Under-19 academy player for the Broncos.
Max Savage is a great name for a private detective, by the way.
This week, Elmbridge Eagles in Surrey hosted game 1 of the series with the under-14s kicking off proceedings. As you can imagine, with places in the London Broncos scholarship team at stake, the intensity of the game was high from the outset. But in the heavy rain, it was the South who struck first to take a 6-0 lead. A series of unforced errors had the North defending on their try line for 3 repeat sets before they completed a strong defensive set to move upfield. North started to move the ball well. 5 metres out, Jacob Smith is one of ours. Threw the dummy and slid across the stripe to open the North's account. Half-time it was 6-4 to the South. There were opportunities for both sides before another period of sustained pressure saw South's crash over to extend the lead to 12-4. The North came back strong with some big carries from Rory Gray, and then quick hands 10 metres out saw Paddy Wiseman hit the line hard and dive across the line to score. Looked like an Irish missile with his green scrum hat on.
Good lad.
The North took the extras 12-10. The game flowed one way and the other before South dotted down to extend their lead to 16-10. With 5 minutes left, the North threw everything and the kitchen sink at the South, going close before the South intercepted a pass to score and secure the win, 20 points to 10. A thoroughly entertaining first game with just 25% of the ball. The North's defence was impressive under the pressure despite the defeat. A few less mistakes on the 24th of September and the North will have every chance of levelling the series. The Eels boys performed well. Jacob Smith was named captain for the North and led by example, these stats are brilliant, making 36 tackles, completing 40 passes and scoring the first try. Playing 2/3 of the game each, Paddy Wiseman and Rory Gray both made 80 metres each, along with some crucial tackle breaks, with Paddy scoring the second try. It was the South's day in the under-15s game. It ended 34-4 to the North, with Eels player Tyler Tomlinson scoring the sole try for the North. And then the under-17s South team completed the clean sweep with a 30 points to 12 victory over the North. That's all for this week, and Aaron has promised to send over Origin Game 2 updates in a few weeks' time.
Super.
That was
Please
brilliant
do,
stuff, Aaron.
Aaron, yes.
Great to have you back on the show.
He does need the North, remembers. Right, that is Super League Pod's look back at Rugby League taken care of. Let's take a look to the future now as we bring you our predictions for next week's action in Super League. Okay, round 6 of the Super 8s. Things are hotting up, Mark. We see Wakefield taking on Hull FC to kick the weekend off. Wakefield are going to lose another one. It's going to be 8 on the bounce for me. I think Hull FC, despite their questionable performance, or their questionable execution at times in attack against Wigan, I don't think that's going to happen for a second week in a row. I'm going for a 20-point win in favour of Hull FC over a Wakey's having very little to play for.
Yeah, you would expect the Hull side will have enough, especially as they need to win this to retain, to remain in contention for the League Leaders' Shield and a treble and all the glory that goes with that. And I don't think it'll be. I think they'll be finding their way back into confidence. It could end up a big score by the end, but I'm going to go with 14 points to 24. But that really could be the score at 65 minutes, and it could blow out.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to go with anyway.
There you go. Okay, Warrington take on Wigan at the Halliwell Jones in a game that may will decide, or at least could decide the League Leaders' Shield.
Yeah, it could well do that. Yeah.
And as much as I want you to do Hull FC a favour, I fancy Warrington for this one. I think it could be close. I'm going 18-16 in favour of the Wire.
Fair enough. I think Warrington are coming up against a good defence.
They are coming up against a good defence.
Whilst my sort of enthusiasm for the way the side is playing has clearly waned
hey.
somewhat, my hope and optimism of supporting my team remains as strong as ever.
There'll be jam in the morning.
So
something. Is that it? There'll be jam in the morning.
Well, we've been given the opportunity to eat jam a number of times, and I think that mental fortitude maybe is standing him in good stead. Not that jam gives you mental fortitude.
Me and you. I was like, what was I was given the opportunity to eat jam? I love a bit of Jack. Do you know what I could do now? I can tell you what, a bit of jam on toast now would be good.
Well, let's get the show finished first.
Why ain't got any fucking jam, Mark?
20 points to 16, I'm going to go for Wigan to win in this one.
Fantastic. Catalan Dragons take on the Castleford Tigers. Nothing at stake here, and Castleford are riddled with injuries, so I'm going to go with the home team, 24 points to 18.
Can Cass not still catch Catalan? Or is that done now?
I think it's a very minor thing, isn't it?
I think they can still catch them. I think both teams are riddled with injuries here, though.
True.
And from what I've seen in recent weeks, Castleford have maintained some sort of attacking credibility during that time, whereas Catalan have been scratchy ass. So I'm going to go Castleford to win 34-20.
There you go. Right, final game of the round sees Widnes taking on St Helens down at the Viking stronghold that is the Select Security Stadium. I'm going for a St Helens win, but not a convincing one. Widnes may well lift themselves, and Saints, whilst they are finding ways to win, I'm yet to be overwhelmed and convinced by them. So I see this going the way that their last few results have gone. Strong platform led down by Walmsley and Amor and co. Some execution from Swift and Lomax, and that should just about be enough for a Widnes side from whom I expect an uptick in their performance. 18-24 in favour of Saints.
Well, I've gone similar, a closer scoreline actually, 20 points to 18, but I sort of expect Widnes' attack to be pulling the same sort of moves that Castleford were able to pull off early doors against, because I see Hanbury and Dawn as similar types of players, certainly have a very similar skill set in attack. So I think that opens an opportunity for Widnes to attack, but St Helens will have resilience and abundance and size and strength to overcome them in the end. So this, like the first game we talked about, this could be 18-20 at 65 minutes, then blow out. But I'm going to stick with the close scoreline.
There you go. And as always, if you're out and about and can't make a game or want to keep an eye on what's going on, our friends at SL Clubs have got you covered. Give them a follow on Twitter. Big thanks to those boys for all the support that they give the Super League pod. In the qualifying eights, then, Mark, Lee take on Batley free of charge if you're a Lee fan.
All you have to do is give them your contact details so they can spam you with season ticket. Literature
you
next year.
Cynic, you. They'll sell season tickets regardless in Lee. I'm sure of it.
I'm joking.
All 5,000 of them. Right. Lee take on Batley. Seriously, Lee by 1 million for this one. It's Victory Parade. They're going to want to put on a show in front of a busy Lee Sports Village. Batley done now.
I think that plan to try and pull in the crowds might actually mean that Lee players have a lift because it's all very easy for them now to be over celebrating like Hull have done after the Challenge Cup final in a similar way, because this is the promised land has been reached already. The glory days are there, and this is just kind of, we have to get through this.
Yeah. When you think that this sort of bookends the season quite nicely, they opened the season, I know it was away at Batley, but they opened the year with a defeat away at Batley. So it's quite a nice way to bookend the year that their final home game is against Batley.
This could be a loss, though, couldn't it? This could be a loss because of the factor of the celebrating and stuff. But I don't think if Lee click into gear and attack at all, they'll score enough points, won't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, big time. Salford take on the London Broncos. London Broncos down at the AJ Bell. We're all yawning all over the show. They come off the back of a big result over Fev. London got the arses kicked a little bit by OKR. I suspect Salford will more than comfortably see this one away. 20 points in front of an equivalent number of people. Yeah,
I think Salford will win big, and I hope people turn out to support them.
Yes,
really
absolutely.
do.
Featherstone take.
It's no good for the club. It's no good for the club.
Of course, it's not.
I know Kukash has been an issue at times with the way he behaves and that sort of stuff, and I know the stadium isn't right next to your fucking back gate anymore, but you still go and support your club, don't you? Surely. It's not like they're a million miles out of the way.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not accessible. It's not the most... It's not... you have to go over a motorway or under a motorway to get to it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's the end of the world. Just go and watch the game and support your team, Salford fans. I think your team need that more and more as Small and Kukash friends to pull out more and more.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if the fans...
Certainly we're not going to be able to use Salford as a cash cow, is he?
It'll be interesting to see if the fans come flooding back if Marwan Kukash pulls out, because if he's the polarising figure, then hopefully if he does pull out, then all of a sudden their attendances will peak. Featherstone take on Hull KR in Feb's final game of the season at the Big Fella Stadium. Hull KR have got this in the bag, and I think they need to put on some big points as well. So plus 40 for Hull KR, I've gone.
Yeah, I think Hull KR will win. I'm not sure. I actually think Salford might do London by a bigger score than Hull KR might do Featherstone. Featherstone have shown some grit and determination at home, haven't they?
They have. Okay, and the final game of the round sees Huddersfield taking on Leeds. Oh, how times have changed when you think what this fixture meant this time a year ago, Mark.
Yeah, that hadn't crossed my mind, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Leeds by 12 for me. Huddersfield are my pick to go down.
I think Leeds might win this one as well, because I don't expect the same level of celebration at Leeds that Lee will have gone through.
Yeah.
And I sort of think
I don't think there'll be any celebration.
Leeds want to recover from what was kind of an embarrassment for a lot of the year for that club. And there's players in that outfit that will definitely think they've thoroughly underperformed this year, injury excuses or what.
Yeah.
Some of those players have been miles below where they could be, and I think some of those players are now coming to the fore. Adam Cuthbertson is a name that immediately springs to mind, but also I think Rob Burrow has kind of not had the greatest of years, and Watkins and Moon have been too inconsistent. Ryan Hall was appalling before he got injured. To be completely honest, he was dropping more balls than he was catching. And that's not like Ryan Hall. And you've got to remember that some of these lads are playing for England spots still.
True.
So professionalism will out, I think, and Leeds will win.
I agree. Okay, Championship 1 game of the week. What have you picked out for us?
Well, there's only one.
There is only one.
No, there's not. There's 4. But Dewsbury versus Oldham.
There's only one that stands out.
Dewsbury versus Oldham is the most important one, I suppose, because if Dewsbury win, that seals their position in the playoffs. If they lose, then the Swinton game becomes more interesting, but
I think Dewsbury are going to win.
First served, I think, on that.
Yeah, I agree. Have you picked for Dewsbury or have you picked Oldham?
I'm going to go Oldham.
You're going to go Oldham?
Why not?
Based on what? Old maps.
Dewsbury
with Oldham in Lancashire.
Dewsbury has been very inconsistent in the last 2 months of the season, I would say. They lost to Swinton, didn't they, a few weeks ago? No, Whitehaven, sorry, massively the other week in particular. So I'm gonna give Oldham a chance as well.
Dewsbury for me. League 1 Super 8 game of the week, Mark.
Well, there is actually only one this time.
It's like the Highlander of games.
And it's the now you mentioned that. You know, I was talking about the Google form I've created for. Well, I've put for the match for the end of season awards. Assuming we're going to go with a checklist one, I've put a criteria on that you can only pick one.
Right.
And so I've written that like a warning that'll come up when someone tries to pick 2. That'll say just like Highlander.
That could be only one. That's superb.
So Toulouse versus Rochdale. I think we're both going to Toulouse, are we not?
Gonna go. Yeah, definitely
to win.
To win by about 20 points, I would say. League 1 Shield game of the week.
Well, there is only one again. So it's Newcastle versus North Wales to take home the Shield. I'm going to go with the home side, Newcastle. They've had a bit of a rest, haven't they? And at the semi-pro level, I think. You know, I don't know if that has as much of an impact as it does when with full-time bodies getting that rest from that high-intensity game. So maybe that might throw them off a little bit because they've had the week off. But I just think they've been clear and away the best side of that bottom end.
Yeah, definitely. So, and they'll start as heavy favourites, I would have thought. So I would back Newcastle.
Oh, you said North Wales before.
Did I? I meant Newcastle.
Okay, whatever. NRL picks.
NRL picks, yes. Well, what have you picked out for?
Well,
there's two games, isn't there?
The 2 games. The Cowboys versus the Broncos, the rematch of last year's grand final, coming a bit earlier in the playoff series this year. The loser will be out.
Yes, it should be a humdinger, shouldn't it, though?